called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Save big money at Menards with 11% off everything for a fantastic 4th of July. Patriotic caps and t-shirts are on sale for just $3.99 each after rebate. Patriotic quad chairs with carrying bag, only $12.99 after rebate. Keep bugs away with big savings on insect repellents. An LED bug zapper bulb is just $2.97 after rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Do-it-yourself ordering kiosks now inside Head West mean getting your sub faster.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny and breezy today, a bit cooler. High near 83, low around 63 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 63. Wednesday, chance of morning showers with a high near 88. Thursday, chance of morning showers with a high near 95. And Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 93 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabados, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard counties. This week, Crime Stoppers is seeking information to assist the Springfield Police Department reference a residential burglary that occurred in the 2000 block of East Brown Street in Springfield, Illinois on May 7th around 4:25 p.m. Suspects, who were thought to be juvenile males, made entry into the residence through a window. Once inside, the suspects took 4 firearms, a laptop, multiple watches, and an assortment of ammunition of various calibers. In total, the items stolen were valued at over $7,000. If photos become available, they will be posted on our website, cashfortips.us. If you have any information regarding this case, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427. Submit a tip on our website or use the P3 app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County, sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Are you more concerned about crime than you were a year ago? You're probably not alone. But this rising wave doesn't have to catch you off guard. Barcom Security is protecting more Central Illinois homes and businesses every day. Being proactive and dealing with it now will keep you and your family more secure. Make it your next call. Contact the Springfield office of Barcom Security for a free estimate and have a secure day.
Hello everybody, it's Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving, and we want to thank you for voting us #1 Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Now, is that driveway of yours a sloppy, muddy mess? Is your driveway becoming a nuisance? Are you getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe your driveway is soft and it's unfunctional. Well, call the day and get on the schedule to get your driveway back to looking good, and you'll feel great about it. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
It's been 1 year since the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin decision was made by the U.S. Supreme Court, sending shockwaves across the country with a precedent that a lot of people argue just simply upholds the Second Amendment rather than allowing for states and governments across the country to balance the interest of public safety over constitutional civil rights. Good morning, back at it. It's Monday, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, and last summer you had the new U.S. Supreme Court issue their ruling, New York State Rifle Association versus Bruin, that has really been used as the precedence for a lot of challenges to gun laws across the country. And in the past 12 months, you've seen both sides go at it in courts, and even the gun control lobby trying to implement measures across the country, including here in Illinois. Would love to hear from you at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number where you can chime in live and local while we're broadcasting live. Again, 217-629-7970. And let's get on into this to just to kind of review some of what's happened in the past 12 months since that law striking down New York's May issue permitting scheme. And you've got states across the country that, since the Bruin decision came out, has really gone full force, including here in Illinois, where earlier this year you had Governor J.B. Pritzker back on January 10th implement a law that was passed in just a handful of hours of the previous General Assembly that bans more than 170 semi-automatic firearms and magazines over certain capacities and requires a registration come January 1st of 2024. And you've seen also in Washington State implement a similar ban on so-called assault weapons. You've got red flag laws that have been enshrined in Minnesota and Michigan, and also expanded in other states like Connecticut and Colorado, plus in cities like Columbus, Ohio. Indianapolis, Indiana, they passed local gun control ordinances that contradict the preemption laws in those states. So a lot of back and forth. And where are we at in Illinois? Well, you've got months after months after months of the challenge to Illinois' gun and magazine ban playing out in the courts. And a lower court in the Southern District of Illinois siding with the plaintiffs, saying that there's a preliminary injunction, but the state going and getting that stayed, essentially reversed, by the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. So this week is actually going to be a pretty big week for the gun and magazine ban here in Illinois. Today, you've got reply briefs that are going to be due. So the state earlier this month, they filed their briefs, and the local governments filed their briefs. And in essence, they seem to go to that balancing of interests approach that Bruin ultimately did away with. And that balance of interest approach was the state and local governments saying new technology for firearms makes them more deadly, they're dangerous and unusual, and they're only used by criminals for criminal purposes. And the increase, they say, of mass shooting events across the country is the reason why governments need to be able to limit access to firearms, including semi-automatic firearms. But the plaintiffs in this case have said the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin decision that came out from the U.S. Supreme Court spells out that you cannot ban commonly owned firearms, and things like an AR-15 commonly owned. There could be potentially millions, if not tens of millions of these across the country, let alone in Illinois, where you've got 2.4 million firearm owner identification card holders. That card, the FOID card, a lot of you are familiar with it. You have to have it in order to own or purchase firearms and ammunition in the state of Illinois. Again, that's something else that's being challenged. You had the Sangamon County Court hear a challenge to that here in Springfield last week. And they were given 21 days to file proposed orders for the judge to issue, both sides. And this is typical. a judge might ask, all right, plaintiffs, defense, go ahead and give me the proposed orders you want me to make, and I'll make my decision. So when we get the FOID card decision, who knows? But this week, you've got the reply briefs from all the sides that are involved in the challenge of the state's gun and magazine ban in the Seventh Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals. And then on Thursday, you have in federal court in Chicago, the case is going to be heard. And that's the consolidated case from the Southern District, where you had a judge grant a preliminary injunction, and the Northern District, where you've got the judges up there siding with state and local governments upholding the gun and magazine ban. So a mixture of rulings going to the U.S. Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, and that's going to be on Thursday when they hear that in Chicago. So we'll do what we can to bring you the latest out of there. But it's been a year since the Bruen decision came down, and all of the different pieces that have been put on the table, from challenges to laws that were already in place to even new laws that were being implemented across the country, including here in Illinois. And the debate continues on as to what the Second Amendment means. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And people are taking this to court and challenging it, challenging laws, wanting to uphold the Second Amendment as a civil right, an inalienable right for the plain language of the Constitution. And the arguments back and forth have been fascinating to sit back and watch, and to read all of the documentation and both sides arguing their points. And again, the state seems to argue that they need to ban these types of firearms because they're dangerous and unusual, and because of the increase in mass shootings, they say, while the plaintiffs say you can't ban commonly owned firearms. These are used by law-abiding gun owners for a variety of reasons, including self-defense, and the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. So that's, of course, just one set of cases. You've got a whole host of other different types of cases sprinkled throughout the country, including whether or not non-violent felons can have access to their Second Amendment right, including whether or not non-violent cannabis users can have access to the Second Amendment, including whether or not you can have red flag laws where people are not convicted of a crime having their Second Amendment curtailed. Again, the New York v. Bruen decision was a foundational case. It's been a full year now. I think Friday was the 1-year anniversary of the Bruen decision coming down, and it's fascinating to see just how long it takes for courts to deal with these issues, when in Illinois, it only took a handful of hours for the state to enact a ban on these weapons. So that's where we're at right now. Where do we go from here? We'll be watching closely all week long. Again, some reply briefs due in the Seventh Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals today. And then on Thursday, they're actually going to hear this case in federal court up in Chicago. So it's going to be fascinating, and we'll be monitoring all of that and bringing it to you. And you, of course, can sound off with bishoponair@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Message me there. Best way to do it, though, is to call in live and local anytime throughout the program, 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. All right, stay tuned. We got plenty more to get to here on WMAY. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast. Did you guys get rain? Because we were supposed to get some rain down here overnight, Saturday night, but I don't think it happened. Unfortunately, my rain barrels are starting to dry up. I think I got one full 80-gallon rain barrel filled up, but I don't know if that's going to last, especially after we've got a high of 82 today, the high of 86 Tuesday, the high up to around 87 Wednesday, possibility of some showers. I'm going to knock on wood and hope that happens. And then Thursday, mostly sunny. It's going to be hot with a high of 95. Yeah. And then Friday, 40% chance of showers with a high of 92. Right now, 67 degrees. The sun is shining at 620 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Hurry into the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Shop a huge selection of 2018 and newer vehicles with 3.9% financing for 72 months. Backed with that Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Offer expires Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Act fast to get the best interest rates during the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus, get the most for your trade. Hurry in. These rates expire Monday. The Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
They may have told you it can't be done. You may think there is no way to do it, but at Rex Battery, changing an iPhone battery is a piece of cake. It's true, many iPhone models have batteries that can be replaced. And if yours is still working fine, except for the battery, don't get rid of it, replace it. We have the tools and the right battery to put extra life in an old iPhone. If your iPhone has a dreaded crack down the screen, we can fix that too. For decades, Rex Battery has been finding the right battery to get the job done. Big, small, and hard to get to. iPhone batteries can be replaced in many of the models so you can have more talk time, more selfie time, and more time to learn that TikTok dance. New batteries and broken screen repair now available at Rex Battery. From the tiniest hearing aids to the biggest farm equipment, nobody knows batteries better than Rex. Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here. Power productivity with a tech refresh, now with up to 45% off top-rated laptops like the XPS, along with our special deals on business desktops with Intel Core processors. Get big savings on the latest servers, storage, monitors, and more with free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Head on over to WMAY.com/poll or the WMAY mobile app and take today's poll, which asks, what do you think of the selection of out-of-state muralists to do the downtown Springfield transportation hub? They should have chosen local artists for the project, or such projects should go to the best design, regardless of where it came from. Looks like you guys are split 50-50 right now. We'll be tracking that all morning long, so go vote at WMAY.com/poll.
Takes Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
So we're talking about the one-year anniversary of the Bruin decision that has led to a whole host of legislation and litigation, including overturning things in a variety of states. Hawaii, San Francisco, they had to issue their first concealed carry license in years. But a lot of people, waiting to see what happens. It's been a year. It took quite some time for the Brown v. Board of Education to ultimately be implemented and actually impact schools that wanted to integrate. So you've got the long slog of how courts deal with these things after the Supreme Court issues their rulings and how the inferior courts ultimately deal with those. But it's also been a year since the Dobbs decision was handed down, and that's the decision that ultimately said that it's up to states to regulate abortion. And that's a controversial decision. And one thing that, if you remember the timeline there, you had the leak of a decision and some questions as to who's the law clerk that leaked this. We still don't know who leaked the decision before it was officially released, but that led to massive protests across the country. It even led to some Supreme Court justices' homes being surrounded by protesters. But ultimately, it's been a year now. And what you've seen happen when it comes to the abortion issue is some states, like Illinois, have made their abortion laws even more lax to the point now where we've got elective abortions, open-ended, depends on the health of the mother and the doctor. And you've got taxpayer funding for abortion. You've got Illinois being an island in the Midwest where all around us we're surrounded by states that have more strict abortion laws. So we've seen an increase in the number of out-of-state abortions in the state of Illinois. But in other states, you see them clamping down and limiting abortions to a set number of weeks, or moving to, really restrict the medical procedure altogether. So, it's been a year since some pretty landmark decisions, and to see the political wranglings happening across the country, including here in Illinois, where, again, they've got lax laws regulating abortion. There's also no parental consent in Illinois, meaning a minor girl can get an abortion without having to notify their parents. So there's no parental notification when it comes to minor girls getting abortions. And that was even, before the Dobbs decision was handed down. But you've got other measures that are queued up for the governor's desk that ultimately would restrict sharing license plate reader information with out-of-state law enforcement if it pertains to trying to track somebody down that was getting an abortion in Illinois. So 12 months since that decision was handed down as well. And a lot of politics being played, a lot of legislation being filed on both sides of this issue. So that's something else that we wanted to just touch on to start our Monday morning here with Springfield's Morning News. Coming up, the Wuhan Virology Institute, or the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Friday night, what'd you have happen? You had a document dump on Friday. Just 10 pages of the intelligence community's assessment of the lab leak theory for COVID-19. What's in that document? Is it enough? Or are people looking for more? We'll touch on that coming up next here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 6:30. All right, check that time. 6:30 on the nose.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Supreme Court will soon deliver a decision involving a Christian graphic artist from Colorado who wants to begin designing wedding websites but objects to making wedding websites for same-sex couples. Lori Smith says state law requiring businesses open to the public to serve everyone violates her free speech rights. Opponents argue that if she wins, businesses will be allowed to refuse service to Black, Jewish, or Muslim customers interracial or interfaith couples, or immigrants. 3 Illinois schools are among a new ranking of the best colleges in the United States. Money Magazine designated 50 five-star schools out of more than 700 that were evaluated. Included in that top group were the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago. In addition, the magazine ranked the top public colleges in the nation, a list that also included UIUC, along with the University of Illinois Chicago and Illinois State University. An Indianapolis woman has pleaded guilty to charges related to the 2021 death of an Illinois police officer. 29-year-old Ashante Carruthers admitted purchasing a gun and transferring possession of it to Darian Lafayette, who could not legally possess it because he was a convicted felon. Lafayette used the gun in a shootout with police in which both he and Officer Christopher Oberheim were killed. Carruthers also pleaded guilty to attempting to cover up her actions by falsely reporting to police that the gun she bought had been stolen. An historic Decatur mansion has been sold at auction for a second time. The 7,700-square-foot Powers Mansion was sold once earlier this month, but the buyer was unable to complete the transaction. A second online auction last week resulted in a purchase price of around $150,000, or about half the price of the first auction. The buyer's name has not yet been revealed. The winning bidder must still get bank approval before taking possession of the 113-year-old home, which was sold as is, with no prior opportunity to inspect the premises. The Springfield City Council will take initial action this week on the nomination of a former alderwoman to serve on a city commission amid questions about her eligibility. Mayor Misty Buscher nominated Kristen DeCenso to chair the Liquor Control Commission less than 2 months after DeCenso left office. Alderman Roy Williams, Jr. says city ordinance requires a 3-year waiting period after an official leaves office before they can be named to a board or commission. But DeCenso says city attorneys have determined that language only applies to the police and fire commissions. She plans to attend Tuesday's meeting when that preliminary vote is set to take place. If the nomination advances, the final vote would come in early July. Brace yourself for a bigger tax bite starting July 1st. The state's 1% sales tax on groceries, which was suspended last year to provide some relief from inflation, will be reinstated on Saturday. That's also the date for the next scheduled increase in the state motor fuel tax. The annual increase is tied to the rate of inflation, so this year it will increase gas prices by approximately 3 cents a gallon. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Join us for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS at Panther Creek Country Club, June 29th through July 2nd. Watch the future stars of the PGA Tour compete for the winner's share of the $1 million purse. Saturday, July 1st is Family Fun Day, presented by SIU School of Medicine. Don't miss the great activity area just for kids. Tickets free, parking free, shuttles free. There's no excuse to miss out on the only professional golf in downstate Illinois. Request your tickets at memorialhealthchampionship.com.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road? First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death. The next time you're on the road, do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it. Sponsored by the Illinois Broadcasters Association. Aired in cooperation with this station. Thanks to the AAA Auto Club for their financial support in the airing of this message.
At the gas pump, whoo, we can't clean up that sticker shock. But we can clean your school, your office, your church, or other amazing workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com. Oh, not again. Nope. Can't clean up your budget, but we can clean your office, your school, your church, or other awesome workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com.
The Silsa Wow Award is an opportunity for our community to recognize unsung heroes, those who make a difference in others' lives through simple acts of kindness or superior customer service. Kindness is a gift to share, and by embracing it, we can all make Springfield a happier place. Do you know someone deserving recognition simply for being kind? Then please take a moment to nominate them for a WOW Award today at silsa-springfield.com. That's CILCSA-springfield.com. The WOW Award is proudly featured on 92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny and breezy today, a bit cooler. High near 83, low around 63 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 63. Wednesday, chance of morning showers with a high near 88. Thursday, chance of morning showers with a high near 95. And Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 93 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Order your sub from the new Head West in-store kiosks, and you get a free brownie. Free brownie.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today.
Yeah! To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. If you're like me, you define most airline food as an oxymoron. Because, let's face it, most people don't eat airline food because they're hungry, they eat it because they're bored. And the food, most often cooked or reheated twice, is not exactly the healthiest, or it's coated with heavy sauces in a failed attempt to retain moisture. A lot of passengers opt to purchase those snack boxes from the airlines, especially for their kids. But consider this example. The stuff inside the British Airways kids box contains up to 16 teaspoons of sugar. Instead, bring on fruit for you and your kids, and hydrate often. It's healthier, and you'll feel so much better when you land. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Potential links between the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the origin of the COVID-19 pandemic. That is a report released by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence on Friday. Good morning. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, and we've been waiting for this. If you recall, the origins of COVID-19 was something that even early on, people said, okay, it's looks like it's weaponized, and there's a virology institute in Wuhan, China, close to the epicenter where they say this thing came from. But that's idea, the debate around that was shielded from social media companies, if you recall. Facebook censored that, Twitter censored that. You even had months after the fact when these things were being suppressed, the conversation about where COVID-19 originated from. You had Facebook do a complete about face all of a sudden and say, oh, we are now allowing that to be debated on the platform. So it goes to show just how censorship is implemented reduces the availability of that debate, and then all of a sudden comes out, oh, we'll actually go ahead and, allow you to talk about this now in a country where we have a First Amendment right to, speak about things and to hear opposing opposition viewpoints and so on. But let's get into this because it's only 10 pages long. And this was after you had a measure passed by Congress forcing this to be released. So again, 10 pages long. It still has some redactions despite Congress saying declassify this information. And the overview is you got the intelligence community assessment of the COVID-19 origins, the Wuhan Institute of Virology activities performed with or on behalf of the People's Liberation Army of China, coronavirus research and related activities performed at the Wuhan Institute of Virology with research and holdings, engineering capabilities, and concerns at the Wuhan Institute of Virology biosafety arena. You also had researchers who fell ill in the fall of 2019. That's interesting. And then a bunch of definitions. So let's just go through this and read some of it because, listen, I mean, the COVID-19 and the government's reaction to it, and I think that that's important here. It wasn't just COVID-19 and the health concerns. It was the government's reaction to it, shutting down businesses. Even here in Illinois, we had, big box stores like Walmart could stay open, but the small mom and pop shoe stores couldn't. The government's reaction to COVID, shutting down business, devastated the economy, right? 2019, at the tail end, I was thinking, holy cow, the economy's on fire. We're kicking butt, heading into an election year. What's going to happen? Then January, all the hubbub around, there's this virus over in China, concerns it could get over and spread across the world. And then by March, we were in a lockdown. And that lasted for more than 2 months in Illinois. And then you had the economic conditions really not eased up at all for months after that, where the governor would say, you've got a, certain amount that your county says you have of COVID-19. You can only have 20% capacity in your restaurant. You can only have 50% capacity in your restaurant. So he kept tweaking this dial for months and months and months, let alone the education outcomes of keeping kids from going to school, let alone the vaccine mandates that were implemented. So COVID-19 and the government's reaction to it did a massive, massive amount of damage to the economy, to education, and including people's psyche. So all of the debate, all of the division, you got COVIDiots on one side, branch COVIDians on another side, and a whole host of just spirited debates and wrecking of relationships, no question. But back to this document here, and we'll go through it in some detail. The executive summary, always good to read those. The report responds to the COVID-19 Origins Act of 2023, which called for the U.S. intelligence community to declassify information related to potential links between the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the origin of the COVID-19 pandemic. This report outlines the intelligence community's understanding of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, its capabilities, and the action of its personnel leading up to and in the early days of COVID-19. This report does not address the merits of the two most likely pandemic origin hypotheses, nor does it explore other biological facilities in Wuhan other than the Wuhan Institute of Virology. A classified annex to this report includes information that was necessary to exclude from the unclassified portion of this report in order to protect sources and methods, but the information contained in the annex is consistent with the unclassified assessments contained in this report. This report was drafted by the National Intelligence Officer for Weapons of Mass Destruction and Proliferation and coordinated with the intelligence community. That's fascinating. So they had their weapons of mass destruction guy write up this report, and it includes information that's from an annex of classified information when you have this ultimate law that was passed, the COVID-19 Origins Act of 2023, saying that it had to release all of this classified information. But as you can see, things redacted, things left out of the report. But what is the intelligence community's assessment of COVID-19 origins? Going through the report, says the National Intelligence Council and 4 other intelligence community agencies assess that the initial human infections with SARS-CoV-2 most likely was caused by natural exposure to an infected animal that carried SARS-CoV-2 or close progenitor. There you go. It's only 6:45 in the morning. Give me a break. A virus that probably would be more than 99% similar to COVID-19. So it came from what? A pangolin? It came from a bat? Where did it came from? What? If you're going to say it came from an animal, don't you think you should really be able to explicitly explain what animal this came from? Goes on to say the Department of Energy and the Federal Bureau of Investigation assessed that the laboratory-associated incidence was the most likely cause of the first human infection with SARS-CoV-2, although for different reasons. So you've got two of the federal agencies, the Department of Energy and the FBI, saying that the laboratory-associated incident, an incident, not an accident, not a leak, not a, what's another term they use for it, release. No, an incident was the most likely cause. All right, so you got two of the intelligence agencies essentially saying that it was a laboratory-associated incident. The Central Intelligence Agency and another agency remain unable to determine the precise origin of COVID-19, as both hypotheses rely on significant assumptions or face challenges with conflicting reporting. So, the Central Intelligence Agency, supposed to have all this vast information at their fingertips, they can't determine the outcome or the origins of COVID-19. That's rather fascinating. And again, going back to the document, almost all intelligence community agencies assess that SARS-CoV-2 was not genetically engineered. Most agencies assess that SARS-CoV-2 was not laboratory adopted. Some are unable to make a determine. All intelligence agencies assess that SARS-CoV-2 was not developed as a biological weapon. So that's the report they released late Friday. It wasn't a biological weapon, they determined. However, the intelligence community is mixed as to whether it came from the lab in Wuhan or if it came from a pangolin or a bat. I don't know. They're not clear about that. But this is causing some concern. You've got the House Intelligence Committee wanting more declassification, saying what they released on Friday is not sufficient. Mike Turner, a representative from Ohio, he wants more information. He says that the report's not sufficient and, quote, this is going to set up a battle between Congress and the Director of National Intelligence to make certain that the law passed unanimously by both the Senate and the House and signed by the president is complied with, but also the American public could get the answers they deserve. So they go on to really push for having even more information about the origins of COVID-19 being released instead of just a little overview of where all the various intelligence community lands on this. But going back to the report here, you've got headlines of coronavirus research and related activities performed at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Talks about how Wuhan Institute of Virology collected animal samples in 2019. Some researchers analyzed pangolin samples to better understand the disease outbreaks in the animals. By the end of 2019, Wuhan Institute of Virology maintained distinct teams focused on MERS and SARS-related coronaviruses. Then you get even further down, genetic engineering capabilities, talks about how they assessed the scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology and their capabilities of doing genetic engineering. You've also got biosafety concerns that were raised with a whole host of concerns there as they were dealing with these very highly infectious viruses. You got to think that that's a big problem. But then it goes into Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers who fell ill in 2019. And this is what's really fascinating because I go back to what Jon Stewart had to say. The joke he had on, the Colbert's show, late night. I can't remember what late night show that was. But Jon Stewart, the comedian, he's like, listen, this came from the lab in Wuhan. It's like if you all of a sudden, there's a chocolate factory right next to a river and you see a whole bunch of chocolate in the river. You're not going to say, oh, that chocolate came naturally. No, you're going to point to the chocolate factory to say, look, there was some chocolate that leaked into the river. So it's pretty remarkable to really kind of, see where you've got information of researchers being sickened in the fall of 2019 with symptoms similar to, but they say it wasn't COVID-19. One researcher may have been hospitalized in the time frame for a non-respiratory medical condition, but it goes on to spell all that out. It's 10 pages, and 4 of the pages are definitions. All right, so we need a lot more information than just a 10-page document, especially if we're going to delve into the origins of COVID-19 and the government's response to it. But maybe we'll get a little bit more as a House committee is looking to get the author of the paper that was meant to disprove a lab leak theory to testify. Dr. Christian Anderson wrote this Proximal Origins of SARS-CoV-2, which spelled out the assessment they made that was naturally occurring, and that was something that ultimately has been blown out of the water with now 2 of the intelligence community saying that it came from the lab. And you've got Congress wanting to actually delve even deeper into all of this and this paper, who helped direct the paper, who funded the paper, and why was that paper put out in the time frame that it was put out. So a lot more to come on the origins of COVID-19 after Friday's release of a classified document. We'll see what happens. All right, it is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Let's take a quick look at that forecast, where it's going to be hot today, the high of 82. 86 the high for Tuesday, and 87 the high for Wednesday, possible showers. Into Thursday, it's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 93. Friday, we got a chance of showers, but then a high of 92. Right now, 67 degrees at 652 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Hey, business owners, recruitment is tough, isn't it? And it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. Here are some things to remember. Your best recruit is working somewhere else right now, so they're not going to be attending job fairs or browsing classifieds. Try building a profile of your best employee. Where did they come from? Then let's talk to more of those people. And use some tools that your competitors might not be. Hint, hint. Indeed discovered that a long time ago, and they're big radio users, but it's not just radio. It's that combined with targeted digital campaigns spearheaded by local people like us, people who can visit your office or restaurant or golf course or wherever. My name's Dave Dennis. I rejoined Midwest Family a while back as an integrated marketing consultant because of the great things that can happen if you decide to talk to us. And when you do, I'll send you our newest ebook on recruitment. It's free and full of ideas on how to tackle the recruitment challenges you're facing today. Look for me at MidwestFamilySPI.com. And let's talk about your next step to business success in this changing world.
Act fast to get the best interest rates during the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus, get the most for your trade. Hurry in. These rates expire Monday. The Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Don't miss the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus the exclusive Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Act fast because these rates expire on Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
It's another MVP showdown at Busch Stadium on June 30th, July 1st, and 2nd when the New York Yankees come to town. The 2022 MVP Aaron Judge, former Redbird Harrison Bader, and the New York Yankees visit St. Louis for an MVP matchup against Goldie, Arenado, and the Cardinals. Baseball's most storied franchises go head-to-head to kick off your holiday weekend, and you don't want to miss it. Great seats remain. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com.
This is Nolan Arenado. Don't miss a legendary moment at Busch Stadium.
Roger Maris is at bat. There it is. A standing ovation for Roger Maris.
The Cardinals host the New York Yankees the weekend of June 30th through July 2nd. On Saturday, July 1st, 25,000 fans aged 16 and older will take home their own Roger Maris bobblehead thanks to Edward Jones. After a stellar Yankees career, Maris joined the Cardinals and was a key member of the 1967 World Championship team. Join us as we honor his legacy on Saturday, July 1st. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, coming up after 7 o'clock, we'll talk with Congressman Darren LaHood about a variety of things, including President Joe Biden planning on being in Chicago on Wednesday to talk about Bidenomics. What is that, Biden economics? So it's a part campaign fundraiser, part official speech. He's going to be in Chicago. We'll get Congressman LaHood's response to the president coming to Chicago, but we'll also get his response to the latest in the Hunter Biden family saga and what's going on there. So stay tuned for that. But this is something that really popped up late last week and then fizzled out over the weekend. You've got the coup in Russia that a lot of people were excited about, but ultimately it turns out that after some pressure from Putin, the coup reversed course and hightailed it out of Russia. But now you've got China and Russian diplomats meeting in Beijing after the Wagner mercenary uprising. This is rather fascinating because you had Antony Blinken from the Secretary of State's office here in the United States going over to China to meet with the Chinese government while Russia was being threatened with a coup. And this after you had China and Russia meet months ago, talk about how they're going to be, in charge for the next 100 years. Was all of this an interesting ploy to show weakness in Russia? And now that the Wagner group has turned the tail and headed out of the country, what's that mean for relations with China and Russia? It's obviously a very contentious time and something I think everybody needs to be walking into this with eyes completely wide open. All right, so stay tuned. We'll talk with Congressman Darren LaHood next. We may talk a little bit about Russia, but we've got to talk about the Hunter Biden investigation, President Biden coming to Illinois on Wednesday, and so much more. Stay tuned. Next hour after 7 o'clock, Congressman Darren LaHood. Right now, though, it is 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. The 25,000-strong mercenary army known as the Wagner Group still moving away from Moscow after Belarus offered leader Yevgeny Prigozhin safe harbor as part of a wider deal. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Kharkiv, Ukraine.
The ease of Prigozhin's march through, still stunning and electrifying Putin's opponents. Mikhail Khodorkovsky, the exiled former oligarch, telling ABC's Patrick Reevell it exposed extraordinary fragility. He says it's clearly demonstrated to everyone that the regime is weak, practically on the floor. Khodorkovsky, jailed by Putin for 10 years, now backing efforts to overthrow him.
When asked about the attempted Russian coup at a NATO event today, Secretary General Jan Stoltenberg said,
"The events over the weekend are an internal Russian matter, and yet another demonstration of the big strategic mistake that President Putin made."
Wagner Group mercenary leader Yevgeny Prigozhin's exact whereabouts this morning are unknown. The Coast Guard is now leading the investigation into the Titan submersible implosion that killed 5, including OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush, who had designed the vessel. Carl Stanley, who heads up the Roatan Institute for Deep Sea Exploration, says he took a trip on the Titan back in 2019 and tried to ask Rush about safety issues at the time, but didn't get any detailed answers.
He made terrible engineering decisions, starting with having a hatch that he couldn't open from the inside.
One person was killed in tornadoes that swept across Indiana on Sunday.
Altogether, we're probably looking at roughly 3 miles right now of damage. So our crews are going to be out working for the rest of the night.
Johnson County, Indiana Fire Chief Eric Funkhauser. This is ABC News.
Eva's wedding.
Nana's 80th.
My first interview.
Whenever I'm on the road, I wonder, where's everyone going? Every truck, bus, car, or bike, we all share the goal of going somewhere special beyond where we're driving to. So, let's work together to make sure we all get there safely. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov. Paid for by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, Congressman Darren LaHood will join us next, where we'll talk about the latest out of Washington, D.C., from Hunter Biden being exposed in a WeChat message, plus President Joe Biden heading to Illinois on Wednesday, and so much more. We've got tons to get to with Congressman Darren LaHood next here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, it's now 7:03.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, 29-year-old Ashante Carruthers of Indianapolis has pleaded guilty to charges related to the 2021 death of an Illinois police officer. Carruthers purchased a gun and transferred it to Darian Lafayette, who could not legally possess a gun because he was a convicted felon. Lafayette used the gun in a shootout with police in which both he and Officer Christopher Oberheim were killed. Carruthers also pleaded guilty to falsely reporting to police that the gun she bought had been stolen. Brace yourself for a bigger tax bite starting July 1st. The state's 1% sales tax on groceries, which was suspended last year to provide some relief from inflation, will be reinstated on Saturday. That's also the date for the next scheduled increase in the state motor fuel tax. The annual increase is tied to the rate of inflation, so this year it will increase gas prices by approximately 3 cents a gallon. 3 Illinois schools are among a new ranking of the best colleges in the United States. Money Magazine designated 50 five-star schools out of more than 700 that were evaluated. Included in that top group were the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago. In addition, the magazine ranked the top public colleges in the nation, a list that also included UIUC, along with the University of Illinois Chicago and Illinois State University. An historic Decatur mansion has been sold at auction for a second time. The 7,700-square-foot Powers Mansion was sold once earlier this month, but the buyer was unable to complete the transaction. A second online auction last week resulted in a purchase price of around $150,000, or about half the price of the first auction. The buyer's name has not yet been revealed. The winning bidder must still get bank approval before taking possession of the 113-year-old home, which was sold as is with no prior opportunity to inspect the premises. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Hi, Rob from Cadenza Precious Metals here. We pay cash for your coins, precious metals, collectibles, diamonds, and many other things of value. If you need some extra cash, give me a call and we'll discuss what you have. I have hundreds of satisfied customers in the Sangamon County area. I don't have employees or a storefront, so I can pay more for your valuables than others. I will come to you, or we can meet in my private office. Rob, 217-415-5581. You will be pleasantly surprised.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
The challenge is on for Central Illinois businesses. The Chamber's 28th Annual Corporate Cup Challenge Golf Outing is July 20th and 21st at Piper Glen Golf Club. It's an 18-hole, 4-person scramble with prizes awarded in 2 flights. Call the Chamber at 525-1173 or visit gscc.org. The Chamber's Corporate Cup Challenge is sponsored by CEFQ, Medics First, CDS Office Technologies, Hy-Vee, Health Alliance, U.S. Bank, Nelson's Catering, and this radio station.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny and breezy today, a bit cooler. High near 83, low around 63 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 63. Wednesday, chance of morning showers with a high near 88. Thursday, chance of morning showers with a high near 95. And Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 93 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
The shortest distance between you and a Head West sub is now through the new in-store kiosks.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today.
Yeah! To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
President Joe Biden is going to be in Illinois, up in Chicago on Wednesday, as his son is revealed in a chat message with a Chinese official about money and saying that his dad's sitting right next to him. And you've got a whole host of other issues, including the influx of migrants from the southern border coming to Illinois and Chicago and all of the tax dollars that are going to that for housing and for health care. What's going on in Washington, D.C. with all of these things? Well, joining us to talk about that is Congressman Darren LaHood. Thank you for taking time with us, Congressman, and let's get right on into it. You've got, let's start with the Hunter Biden stuff. We've been hearing rumblings for months and months, if not years, from the Hunter Biden laptop that was suppressed before the 2020 election to the most recent revelations of a WeChat message indicating that Biden was saying he was sitting next to his father demanding payment. What do we know, and where do we go from here with this information? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Well, first, I would encourage all of your listeners to go read the transcripts of the IRS whistleblowers that were released last week in a vote by the Ways and Means Committee. When you read these whistleblower allegations that are in there, it's really disturbing. I've never seen in a federal case like this where the U.S. Department of Justice basically slow-walked everything. They didn't allow the IRS agents and other investigatory bodies to look into Hunter Biden. And it's revealing on the direct connection between Hunter Biden and his dad. Secondly, Hunter Biden with Chinese entities, Romanian entities, Ukrainian entities. And I think the thing that's most disturbing, Greg, is it's the fact that that the Biden administration and their DOJ, particularly Merrick Garland, was protecting Hunter Biden. And because of his name, because of his political connections, and that's really infuriating to my constituents when you see this. And no one that would take $8 million from these illicit sources and not pay any taxes would get a plea agreement for misdemeanors.
Congressman, why should the taxpayers care about this story?
Well, they should care about it because it's another example of a two-tiered system of justice, where when you're politically connected and you're part of the political elite, you're going to get a different outcome from the Justice Department. The other part is, as a former federal prosecutor, Greg, I've never seen where the IRS lets the statute of limitations run out on federal tax charges. That's what happened. 2014, 2015 tax charges against Hunter Biden, they let the statute of limitations run out, so you can't charge them. I've never seen that done before. But the lenient plea agreement is ridiculous. The last point that I'll make on this, Greg, is it's more than a coincidence that we announced we're releasing these whistleblower transcripts on Thursday, and they abruptly schedule a plea agreement on Monday. I think the timing is suspicious. We're going to be asking and filing a brief with the court asking for the judge to reject the plea agreement on July 26th of next month.
So you've got all of this working to really reveal not just the indiscretions of Hunter Biden from the tax issues and the what could be characterized as money laundering, bringing in millions of dollars from foreign entities and foreign countries even, and somehow allegedly siphoning that through and laundering that for Biden family members, including, quote, the big guy. So you've got that at play here. It's not just Hunter Biden's indiscretions, it's the question of the president. And do you think that this is going to eventually, once more information and more evidence is put out there and the dots are linked, so to speak, do you think that there's going to be impeachment proceedings against the president on this particular issue?
Well, I think there are a lot of concerns, and we're going to follow the facts and evidence, Greg. Jamie Comer, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, Jim Jordan, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, both have ongoing investigations. We're going to go where the facts and evidence. But I got to tell you, when you read the whistleblower reports and the transcripts, the facts and evidence are not good. And this was a very uncommon, unique, and unusual situation to give him a slap on the wrist for 2 misdemeanor charges and an expungable gun charge. That would not happen to Joe Q. Public in Springfield, Illinois, or Peoria, Illinois, or Rockford, Illinois. It's ridiculous. So we're going to follow the facts and evidence. And I know the Biden administration, they keep saying, this ends Hunter Biden's criminal probe. They want this to all go away and sweep it under the rug. That is not going to happen.
And Congressman, how would this compare to the impeachment of Donald Trump? I mean, was there factual basis there? They impeached him twice.
Yeah, absolutely not. They move forward with, lacking evidence that obviously ended in acquittal in the Senate and not moving any forward. But again, it's when you have a Biden administration that has not come forward and not, given an explanation on why this occurred. Again, it leaves people wondering. The other part that I would also mention, another observation, Greg, is Democrats love whistleblowers. They always talk about whistleblowers. Now you have 2 legitimate, superior IRS agents that are whistleblowers, and they don't move forward with the allegation. So it's interesting to see how this plays out. But we're going to follow the facts and evidence. It's not good for Hunter Biden. It's not good for the president at this point. We'll see where it goes.
We're talking with Congressman Darren LaHood here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. You did have one of your colleagues, Lauren Boebert, advance impeachment resolution to a couple of different committees about the border crisis. Talk about where we're at with that, especially because here in Illinois, you've got Governor J.B. Pritzker, $550 million that's in the state budget starting July 1st for migrant health care. You've got tens of millions of dollars going to house these migrants. Is the border under control now, or is it still porous, possibly letting in, 4+ million people, if not more population than several U.S. states being into this country undocumented?
Well, let's remember, under the Trump administration, at the end, we had the lowest amount of illegal immigrants coming across our border in the last 40 years. I mean, we essentially, working with the Border Patrol agents, working with the Mexican government, we were stopping illegal immigration, stopping the coyotes, stopping the criminal elements from coming across. And what happened? The Biden administration basically ripped up that Mexico policy. And now we've had roughly over 4 million people illegally come across our border. It's a blatant violation of our Constitution and our laws, and basically it's putting people ahead of the line on legal immigration. But yet you have a Biden administration that continues to be complicit with violating the law, not standing up for the Constitution. So I think what you're going to see in Congress is moving forward with the impeachment of Mayorkas. Mayorkas has not abided by the rule of law. He continues to not enforce the rule of law. There has to be consequences for that, Greg.
Congressman Darren LaHood, we've seen a recent poll released showing that the vast majority of Americans do not see the country moving in the right direction. You've got President Joe Biden set, of course, running for re-election. He's going to be in Chicago on Wednesday with an official speech about Bidenomics. I'm not sure if that's Biden economics or what it is, but he's also going to do a fundraiser. Your thoughts of the president coming to tout his economic agenda here in a state like Illinois? That seems to be, doing less well than the rest of the country when it comes to the economy.
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy right now with high inflation. We've had high energy costs. The future, if people look at their retirement 401k, 529s, their mutual funds, I think there's a lot of concern on where the economy is going under the Biden administration, and people don't have confidence that Biden can run the economy. And I think we've seen that with the Fed and interest rates and lots of other things. So I'm not confident that his speech that he's going to give in Illinois is going to give people, that confidence in any way. Plus, I've just seen polling in the last couple of days here that, over half of the Democrats question his mental acuity, and his future to lead the country. And I think that is a common sentiment among voters across the country, just because of his actions and the way that he's conducted himself. So I think he's in serious trouble as we head into next year, and I think people need to question the direction of the country.
And what would you like the president to say? What kinds of policies do you think should be implemented to, I guess, counter what you're saying are the problems with the Biden economy?
Well, I think for one thing, you got to look at how do we get back to energy independence in this country, where we're producing our own energy. So much of our inflationary problems as it relates to businesses and manufacturing and companies and individuals is energy independence, getting back to that. So we're not relying on our foreign adversaries. That the spike in energy has, because of the Ukraine conflict and not producing domestic amounts of energy, I think contributed to that. That's number one. Number two, I think also looking at the tax policies that we have in this country, the way we've been spending money. We're $32 trillion in debt. It's part of the reason why I didn't vote for the debt ceiling raising is because of those policies. So I think it's focusing on spending and reducing that. And then secondly, it's getting back to energy independence. That's what we ought to be focused on.
Congressman Darren LaHood, greatly appreciate your time this morning. We'll definitely be talking again in the very near future. Be safe out there, all right?
Have a great week, Greg. Thank you.
You too. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, now 7:21. And let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of 82, mostly sunny, and then the low of 62. For Tuesday, the high of 85 with a sunny sky. And then Wednesday, we got a chance of some showers with a high of 87. Thursday, it's going to be hot, mostly sunny with a high of 95. Ugh. Friday, 40% chance of showers and storms, the high of 92. Right now, 67 degrees at 722 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59,995 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Hello everybody, Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving, your Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Thanks for that. Is your driveway a sloppy, muddy mess? Are you tired of getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe you're sick of all the sloppy mud in the car and in the house. Or maybe you don't want all the garbage rock in your lawn. Well, if so, call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Less frustration, more vacation. Book a nonstop flight from Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, SPI, to Fort Myers, Punta Gorda at Allegiant.com and experience the sun, fun, and relaxation of Southwest Florida. Find low fares and save big by bundling at Allegiant.com. Fly from SPI and spend more time enjoying vacation. Book your flight from SPI at Allegiant.com. Fly local. Fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-989-8906 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-989-8906. That's 800-989-8906. What do you have to lose? Call 800-989-8906. Again, 800-989-8906.
Do you have the right amount of insurance coverage? If you only purchase the minimum required by law, a coverage gap can cause a big financial headache if you need to make a claim. That's why National Insurance Day on June 28th is the perfect opportunity to perform your annual insurance tune-up. If you want to shop around for the best insurance coverage, you can make a lot of phone calls, check a lot of websites, or simply get multiple bids all at once. Guaranteed Rates Insurance Marketplace is a convenient one-stop platform to compare and purchase home, auto, life, and other insurance policies from more than 50 top-rated carriers. This is another example of the way Guaranteed Rate provides innovative solutions to the big challenges consumers face. For a faster, easier, and more reliable way to buy insurance online and also speak with an agent, visit rate.com/insurance. That's rate.com/insurance.
All right, head over to WMAY.com/poll and take today's daily poll, which asks, what do you think of the selection of an out-of-state muralist for downtown Springfield Transportation Hub? They should have chosen a local artist for the project, or such projects should go to the best design regardless of where it comes from. Looks like it was 50-50 earlier this morning, but now 60% of you say such projects should go to the best design regardless of where it came from. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
If you didn't see the White House news conference on Friday where, they talked about the economy, they talked about the president heading to Chicago on Wednesday, and laid out a variety of other things, you then had questions posed to John Kirby with the White House about Hunter Biden's text message to a Chinese official about his dad sitting next to him and they want their money. John Kirby said he's not gonna talk about it, and don't waste your breath because he's just not gonna talk about it. Fascinating. But then Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, she got up to the podium and was asked questions that really were not just coming from one reporter, from a series of reporters. And this is fascinating to hear because while she tries to brush off one reporter, other reporters are like, no, answer the question. Just answer the question. Here's how that played out.
The president invited his son Hunter to the state dinner last night. I'm wondering if you could take us into the thinking and the decision-making of why the president decided to invite
I'm just not going to get into family discussion, personal family discussion. As you know, Hunter is his son. I'm just not going to get into it.
Let me ask you this. If Hunter Biden wasn't the president's son, would he have invited someone who had just reached a plea agreement with federal prosecutors 2 days earlier?
A couple of things. Again, that's his son. He's a family member. It is not uncommon for family members to attend events at the White House. You could look at past presidents. I'm sure you have. So that is not uncommon. As it relates to anything related to Hunter, I'm just not going to respond to it from here.
Can I follow up on that?
Okay. No, I just called in somebody. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Curley wouldn't answer James's question, though. Are you going to answer the question? It's not a reasonable question to ask whether the President of the United States was involved, as this message seems to suggest, in some sort of coercive conversation for business dealings by his son. Is that something, if he wasn't, then maybe you should tell us?
So here's the thing, and I appreciate the question. I believe my colleague at the White House Counsel has answered this question already, has dealt with this, has made it very clear. I just don't have anything to share outside of what my colleagues have shared, and so I would refer you to him and the DOJ. Just not going to comment from here.
Text message.
What I can tell you is I know that my colleague has dealt with this. He addressed this at the White House Counsel. I just don't have anything else to share.
In the shakedown attempt?
I just answered the question. I just answered the question.
No, you didn't. Yes or no? Was the president involved in the shakedown attempt?
Stephen, I just answered the question. It's not up to you how I answer the question. I just answered the question by telling you my colleagues at the White House Counsel has dealt with this, and I would refer you to them.
God, the questions just keep coming.
Remind us what your colleague said from the White House Counsel, so we have it.
I would refer you to them, and they will share their statement with all of you.
My question is about your statements from that podium. You've stated that the president stands by his comment from the 2020 campaign that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with his son. And you stood at that podium and you reaffirmed that. Do you stand by your reaffirmation?
What I will say is nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And I will leave it there. Anything else, I will refer you to the White House Counsel.
This is not a change?
I just answered the question. You just asked me, does my statement change? I just told you nothing has changed. That's answering the question. Go ahead.
Go ahead. The president was there 2 days prior.
Go ahead, Stephen. I'm calling on your colleague right now.
All right.
Thank you. To follow up on my colleague, is there anything that you can say with regard to this text message and what the president's son was alleging? Was the president there or not?
I would refer you to my colleagues at the White House Counsel. They have addressed this, and I refer you to them.
Well, obviously, they haven't addressed it enough.
Have you spoken to the president about this? Have you asked him whether he was there with his son on July 30th?
This is not a conversation that I've had with the president. Again, I would refer you to the White House Counsel.
Probably have that conversation.
No. With the president?
No.
Did the president speak with the attorney general at all last night?
I cannot say if the president had a conversation with the attorney general last night. What I can refer you to is the White House counsel's office as it relates to the allegations. They've already addressed this. This is something for them to deal with. I refer you to the Department of Justice on anything else if you don't want to speak to the White House counsel's office.
Wow. And there was reporting earlier in the week that after the plea agreement was reached by Hunter Biden, that the president felt relieved that that part of it was behind him. Is that true? Can you speak
I can't
to
speak to that. I cannot speak to the president's mindset. Again, I would refer you to the White House counsel's office.
So, again, Karine Jean-Pierre, not just getting one question from one reporter and being able to slap that down. It was reporter after reporter after reporter asking follow-up questions. As a member of the working press, watching that display is fascinating because, again, it's not just one reporter. Everybody else was having questions about this, and Karine Jean-Pierre's response was, "Well, just talk to the White House, counsel about this." Just pretty remarkable. 217-629-7970. I got time for one call. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Just to be clear, we know that Hunter Biden was there because we've already checked the logs, and there's definitive proof that this was a real thing. He was really there during that day, during the phone call and the message. So the fact that she can't answer that is just adding more credibility to this entire story. I mean, it's starting to get really bad for the Bidens, I think. Let's hope, at least.
Well, and we'll watch this play out as it gets closer to the 2024 election, because we're well into the thick of it. We'll see just exactly where this goes from here. All right, 7:34. Stay tuned. I talked with Healthy Illinois campaign, and they support increasing taxpayer subsidies for migrant health care. We'll share with you their thoughts. Stay tuned. It's coming up here on WMAY now, 7:34. Let's get a check of headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Brace yourself for a bigger tax bite starting July 1st. The state's 1% sales tax on groceries, which was suspended last year to provide some relief from inflation, will be reinstated on Saturday. That's also the date for the next scheduled increase in the state motor fuel tax. The annual increase is tied to the rate of inflation, so this year it will increase gas prices by approximately 3 cents a gallon. 3 Illinois schools are among a new ranking of the best colleges in the United States. Money Magazine designated 50 five-star schools out of more than 700 that were evaluated. Included in that top group were the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago. In addition, the magazine ranked the top public colleges in the nation, a list that also included UIUC, along with the University of Illinois Chicago and Illinois State University. An Indianapolis woman has pleaded guilty to charges related to the 2021 death of an Illinois police officer. 29-year-old Ashante Carruthers admitted purchasing a gun and transferring possession of it to Darian Lafayette, who could not legally possess it because he was a convicted felon. Lafayette used the gun in a shootout with police in which both he and Officer Christopher Oberheim were killed. Carruthers also pleaded guilty to attempting to cover up her actions by falsely reporting to police that the gun she bought had been stolen. An historic Decatur mansion has been sold at auction for a second time. The 7,700-square-foot Powers Mansion was sold once earlier this month, but the buyer was unable to complete the transaction. A second online auction last week resulted in a purchase price of around $150,000, or about half the price of the first auction. The buyer's name has not yet been revealed. The winning bidder must still get bank approval before taking possession of the 113-year-old home, which was sold as is, with no prior opportunity to inspect the premises. The Springfield City Council will take initial action this week on the nomination of a former alderwoman to serve on a city commission amid questions about her eligibility. Mayor Misty Buscher nominated Kristen DeCenso to chair the Liquor Control Commission less than 2 months after DeCenso left office. Alderman Roy Williams, Jr. says city ordinance requires a 3-year waiting period after an official leaves office before they can be named to a board or commission. But DeCenso says city attorneys have determined that language only applies to the police and fire commissions. She plans to attend Tuesday's meeting when that preliminary vote is set to take place. If the nomination advances, the final vote would come in early July. Chatham police are sounding the alarm about drunk driving in the community. In a Facebook post, the Chatham Police Department says it's averaging roughly 2 DUI arrests a week, a number it calls alarming in a town of 13,000 to 14,000 people. News Channel 20 reports that Sangamon County officials are also concerned, noting that DUI incidents tend to be higher during the summer months. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
WMAY News, brought to you by The Inn at 835. Let The Inn at 835 handle your next business or social gathering with style.
Looking to buy your next home or considering listing? My wife and I recommend choosing RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister. Working with Fritz to find our new home in Sangamon County was truly a wonderful experience. He's prompt, responsive, and we had constant communication. He was committed to serving our needs and made our home buying experience an absolute pleasure. RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister, 217-652-7653. 217-652-7653. Buying or selling a home? Fritz makes it easy.
The Silsa Wow Award is an opportunity for our community to recognize unsung heroes, those who make a difference in others' lives through simple acts of kindness or superior customer service. Kindness is a gift to share, and by embracing it, we can all make Springfield a happier place. Do you know someone deserving recognition simply for being kind? Then please take a moment to nominate them for a Wow Award today at silsa-springfield.com. That's CILCSA-springfield.com. The Wow Award is proudly featured on 92.7 WMAY.
Local, local, local for 27 years. Just Beds has been your local mattress store for 27 years, featuring locally made Bemco mattresses like Arctic Breeze and Max Life. That's a lot of local helping local. And all this month at Just Beds, you will save big on Bemco. Twin mattresses for $149, queen mattresses just $229. As always, free delivery, setup, and haul away locally. Thank you for supporting Just Beds for 27 years. Keep buying local, friends. See the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale and Springfield. Just Beds.
Join us for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS at Panther Creek Country Club, June 29th through July 2nd. Watch the future stars of the PGA Tour compete for the winner's share of the $1 million purse. Saturday, July 1st is Family Fun Day, presented by SIU School of Medicine. Don't miss the great activity area just for kids. Tickets free, parking free, shuttles free. There's no excuse to miss out on the only professional golf in downstate Illinois. Request your tickets at memorialhealthchampionship.com.
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny and breezy today, a bit cooler. High near 83, low around 63 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 63. Wednesday, chance of morning showers with a high near 88. Thursday, chance of morning showers with a high near 95. And Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 93 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
What are you hungry for?
Obed and Isaac sounds good.
They're always busy.
Yeah, they are. It's because the food is great. The selection of craft beer is amazing, and it's downtown. It couldn't be at a better location.
What if we have to wait?
We'll put in our name, give them our number to text us when our table is ready, and then go next door to the 7th Street Cidery and start there.
I like the way you think. They serve meads too, right?
Yeah, they do. You can get your mead, and I'll start with a flight of cider. They're constantly getting new ciders on tap all the time.
What if Obed's isn't busy and they seat us right away?
The cidery doesn't close till 11, so we can just finish the night there.
You've got this all figured out, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You should see my reward points that I've built up.
So, you're buying, right?
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
No, you didn't.
Obed and Isaac's Microbrewery, located in downtown Springfield, right next door to the 7th Street Cidery. Enjoy.
This is the sound of Dan's phone. He's chatting with his bank, BOS. Dan just noticed a fraudulent purchase on his account. But Dan isn't worried. He knows BOS goes above and beyond for their customers. You can hear it in his calm typing demeanor. Yeah, he's got this. For banking support when you need it most, make the bold move and switch to BOS today. Visit bankwithbos.com. Member FDIC.
Do-it-yourself ordering kiosks now inside Head West mean getting your sub faster.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today.
Yeah! To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Friday up in Chicago, there was another protest against Governor J.B. Pritzker's move to limit the taxpayer subsidies for undocumented migrants or those seeking asylum in the state of Illinois. And he ultimately made that move the week before last week, saying that in order to control the costs that were ballooning more than anticipated, they needed to freeze the program for those migrants in Illinois 42 to 64, while the program for those 65 and up would be frozen if it got over a certain threshold of 16,500, I believe. So all of this costing taxpayers in the budget that starts July 1st, $550 million. That's the cap. And that's after there were projected costs of more than $1 million, or billion, $1 billion with a B. So the governor essentially slicing that in half to just $550 million in the state budget, and to control those costs, he's going to have the taxpayer subsidies limited to $550 million. He's also going to implement some co-pays for a variety of things. Well, we talked with State Senator Steve McClure on Friday, and he shared some of his thoughts about this, saying ultimately that this is all going to cost taxpayers, and the entire idea, it's just not sustainable, he said.
Yes, if you put money here, you don't have other money to go in other places. So in fact, that's exactly what you're doing. It's really frustrating for all of us.
He also talked about how Democrats, they seem to, pass things without realizing just how far things could go in the overall cost to taxpayers.
You don't necessarily think about what you're doing, and sometimes you get into things that you sort of start to realize were a bad idea, and I think that is reflected in the governor's decision to change the policy up a little bit.
So the policy changed slightly. Just some background, Illinois implemented taxpayer subsidies for migrants in the state undocumented in 2020. And that was estimated to cost like close to $2 million with an M. But then in 2022, they expanded that to include those 42 and up, and the cost estimated for the coming fiscal year to be over $1 billion with a B. And then the governor and legislative leaders, they hashed it out and said, we're going to give the governor tools to control these costs, but ultimately it's going to cost taxpayers somewhere, be it from hospitals having to pick up the cost ultimately and then handing that down to health consumers, or going to the state for more taxpayer funds. Well, I reached out to one of the organizers of a protest in Chicago where the migrants were protesting the governor's move to limit this program in a cost control way. And Tovia Siegel, she is with Healthy Illinois Campaign, chatted with her on Friday and asked her about Friday's protests.
Yeah, so today a group of grassroots organizations, immigrants, healthcare providers, and elected officials from the city level in Chicago, as well as Cook County and the state level, gathered to demand to Governor Pritzker that he reverse his recent decision to close new enrollment for immigrant health coverage programs, as well as instituting high copays, exorbitant copays of up to $250 for the lowest income residents of the state.
So Siegel said that they were there protesting the governor's move to control those costs, but I asked her, how do we ultimately pay for this?
Sure. So I think when we talk about the cost, we need to talk about the cost in all senses. One important caveat to the how do we pay for it question is that there is significant federal reimbursement available or federal dollars available for this program, and that's often missed in the conversations about it. So that's one way we pay for it. But we also need to recognize when we're talking about costs that this is a program that shifts costs away from uncompensated care for safety net providers. It means that our healthcare system no longer bears the cost of people who are not able to pay, and instead can provide them preventive care and primary care, like we talked about, that keeps them healthier, keeps them able to work, keeps them out of the emergency room. And so I think those are really important.
So again, Tovia Siegel, she is with Healthy Illinois Campaign. She said that federal funds should be used for it. I was under the assumption federal funds can't be used for this migrant health care costs. It's all going to be state tax dollars. And even the governor's intimated that. She says that's not the case.
That's not totally accurate. There is federal reimbursement under emergency Medicaid for anything that's deemed an emergency, which is actually a pretty wide range of medical services. So regardless of immigration status, emergencies can be reimbursed by the federal government, as well as pregnancy and 1 year postpartum. So there are federal dollars available, and we as advocates want to ensure that the state is capturing every single federal dollar available. We haven't yet seen evidence that they're doing so, and so we would also call on the state to ensure that they are getting all of the money that that's there and that nothing's left on the table.
Well, and just a note here, as we re-air this conversation I had with Tovia Siegel on Friday, you've got Save the Humans on YouTube saying federal dollars are coming from the same people. So stop saying it's better. He's absolutely right. It's not just money out of thin air. Federal dollars are your tax dollars. You're paying into that. So regardless, tax dollars are going to be used for this. But what about in the state tax dollar realm? $550 million is the cap. Where do we go if that is reached and exceeded? Again, Tovia Siegel from Healthy Illinois campaign.
So that's more than we've spent in previous years on the program. That's what we believe should be sufficient, and we want to make sure that that's spent on the program. We're definitely not at that cap yet, and we think that the program should be fully implemented now, and then we'll continue advocating for future expansion.
So she says they're going to continue advocating for future expansion. What, beyond those who are 42 years old? Here's Tovia Siegel.
Yeah, ultimately we do want all ages, regardless of immigration status, to be covered. These are low-income immigrants, many of the most hardworking and tax-paying, dedicated citizens of Illinois, but also many of the most vulnerable. And they, like everybody in the state and in the country and in the world, should have access to the health care that they need.
So while Tovia Siegel with Healthy Illinois campaign was talking about the protest happening in Friday, just days before in the Chicago City Council, you had residents complaining about the $50+ million the city's going to give to migrant shelter, plus all the other costs that there are that taxpayers are subsidizing for the migrants. You had the black community in Chicago upset. They felt like they were being left behind. I asked Siegel to respond to those concerns.
Yeah, I would say, and I work particularly in expanding health coverage to immigrants, and that's something that benefits everyone, whether they're an immigrant or not, whether they're an immigrant who's been here for 20 or 30 or 40 years, or not, because when everybody has access to the health care they need, we're all healthier. But also when people have access to the primary and preventive care they need, the health system is more stable and stronger for all of us to receive health care.
So again, that was Tovia Siegel talking about the protests in Chicago Friday, protesting Governor J.B. Pritzker's cost control moves to try to limit how much taxpayers are going to have to pay for the health care subsidies for undocumented migrants and asylum seekers in the state of Illinois being transported from the southern U.S. border to Chicago. And I don't think we're going to, hear the last of that anytime soon, as those costs will track them as they continue throughout the next fiscal year. What ultimately happens after that $550 million threshold's met in the state budget. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Let's take a look at that forecast, where today you got a hot one, the high of 82, even warmer tomorrow with the high of 86, plenty of sunshine throughout. And then a chance of rain Wednesday, not going to cool things down though, the high of 87. And Thursday, it's going to be hot, hot, hot. 95 the high with mostly sunny skies. And then Friday, a chance of showers with a high of 92. Right now, 67 degrees at 7:53 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Don't miss the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus the exclusive Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Act fast because these rates expire on Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Hurry into the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Shop a huge selection of 2018 and newer vehicles with 3.9% financing for 72 months. Backed with that Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Offer expires Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
Hey, business owners, did you know that your new customers almost always go to this site before they ever make it to your webpage? I'm talking about Google, of course. It's where people research you, get directions, talk about you, and complain about you. If you haven't claimed that page, you can do it now, free. We talk to our clients about these issues all the time, and it's the main reason I rejoined this company a couple years ago. My name's Dave Dennis. Just go to our website at MidwestFamilySPI.com, and let's talk about your next step to business success in this changing world.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank. Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
If your computer is showing signs of slowing down, bring it to BLH Computers. They've restored thousands of computers once thought destined for a replacement. Remember, if you bought it from BLH Computers, repairs are free, as in no charge for labor. In-stock replacement parts are free as well. Those are just some of the details of the exclusive BLH guarantee. So if it's taking you longer to get your computer work done, it could just be a small repair. Bring it to BLH Computers for a complete diagnosis. BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, Springfield, and online at blhcomputers.com.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Special Counsel Jack Smith requests delay in Trump classified document trial. I thought he said that he wanted a speedy trial for the former president. But now the speculation is that if this is postponed, you could see a trial that takes weeks stretching into primary season for the Republican primary. It's incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. Smith's motion noted the government has promptly provided unclassified documented material for the defense, including evidence obtained through subpoenas, warrants, grand jury testimony, and so on. It's amazing. We live in some of the most fascinating times, and I think it's only going to get more incredible. So buckle up. All right, stay tuned. We got tons more to get to with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop. Thanks for hanging out. It's coming up on 8 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. New severe weather alerts today after another deadly tornado outbreak across the Midwest and in the South. ABC's Elwin Lopez is in Greenwood, Indiana, where a twister touched down on Sunday, killing one and damaging at least 75 homes.
That line of severe storms wreaking havoc, snapping trees in half. Crews tell us they've been working around the clock to clear debris from the roads. Officials say that some areas could be without power for up to 5 days.
Another person killed in Atlanta, where a tree fell on a man taking a walk. The heat turning deadly in Texas over the weekend, and as ABC's Morgan Norwood reports, the weather will be sticking around, too.
At least 9 states from Arizona to Mississippi and Tennessee are under heat alerts today, where the feels-like temperature could hit 120 degrees. In Texas, a 14-year-old died after going on a hike at Big Bend National Park in 119-degree heat. Police say his stepfather was later killed in a car crash trying to get help for him.
Salvage operations continue this morning in the North Atlantic after the deadly Titan submersible implosion.
The Transportation Safety Board of Canada, also other Canadian authorities could get involved, and the National Transportation Safety Board here in the United States will be assisting them. This will be a joint effort to figure out exactly what happened and hopefully to prevent such a problem from happening again in the future.
ABC's Sam Sweeney, Russia's defense minister, appearing today for the first time since rebel leader Yevgeny Prigozhin called for his ouster. Since the Wagner mercenary group started off from Moscow, then turned around, Prigozhin hasn't been seen or heard from. Oil prices rose overnight after the attempted military coup sparked concerns about political instability. This is ABC News.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
He might not have a badge, but we have faith in his killer instinct. Celebrate the 10th anniversary of famed detective priest, Father Brown. Stream the new season now, only on BritBox.
That sounds like a marvelous plan.
Plus, watch even more unofficial detectives in much-loved series, including Agatha Christie's Marple, Murder in Provence, and more. Expect intriguing mystery. Expect the Undetectives. Start streaming today at BritBox.com.
All right, coming up this hour, we'll talk about social media censorship and apparently a big fight, a cage match. It's going to happen between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. But up next, some pretty incredible images and video coming out of pride parades across the country. I want to get your thoughts on this, especially what could be considered lewd acts being out on full display in public in front of children. So we'll touch on this coming up with your phone calls at 217-629-7970. It's now 8:03 on WMAY.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Brace yourself for a bigger tax bite starting July 1st.
The state's 1% sales tax on groceries, which was suspended last year to provide some relief from inflation, will be reinstated on Saturday. That's also the date for the next scheduled increase in the state motor fuel tax. The annual increase is tied to the rate of inflation, so this year it will increase gas prices by approximately 3 cents a gallon. 3 Illinois schools are among a new ranking of the best colleges in the United States. Money Magazine designated 50 5-star schools out of more than 700 that were evaluated. Included in that top group were the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago. In addition, the magazine ranked the top public colleges in the nation, a list that also included UIUC, along with the University of Illinois Chicago and Illinois State University. An Indianapolis woman has pleaded guilty to charges related to the 2021 death of an Illinois police officer. 29-year-old Ashante Carruthers admitted purchasing a gun and transferring possession of it to Darian Lafayette, who could not legally possess it because he was a convicted felon. Lafayette used the gun in a shootout with police in which both he and Officer Christopher Oberheim were killed. Carruthers also pleaded guilty to attempting to cover up her actions by falsely reporting to police that the gun she bought had been stolen. An historic Decatur mansion has been sold at auction for a second time. The 7,700-square-foot Powers Mansion was sold once earlier this month, but the buyer was unable to complete the transaction. A second online auction last week resulted in a purchase price of around $150,000, or about half the price of the first auction. The buyer's name has not yet been revealed. The winning bidder must still get bank approval before taking possession of the 113-year-old home, which was sold as is, with no prior opportunity to inspect the premises. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
I'm Greg Bishop, and every week I break down the big issues from the Springfield City Council meeting with the Council Roundup. From debates about zoning to city growth and everything else city officials have to say, we serve it up with the Council Roundup, sponsored by Head West Substop. When you want a great sub, you've got to Head West. Wednesday mornings at 7 on Springfield's Morning News with 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Catch past episodes on demand at WMAY.com.
Save big money at Menards with 11% off everything for a fantastic 4th of July. Patriotic caps and t-shirts are on sale for just $3.99 each after rebate. Patriotic quad chairs with carrying bag, only $12.99 after rebate. Keep bugs away with big savings on insect repellents. An LED bug zapper bulb is just $2.97 after rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The challenge is on for Central Illinois businesses. The Chamber's 28th Annual Corporate Cup Challenge Golf Outing is July 20th and 21st at Piper Glen Golf Club. It's an 18-hole, 4-person scramble with prizes awarded in 2 flights. Call the Chamber at 525-1173 or visit gscc.org. The Chamber's Corporate Cup Challenge is sponsored by CEFQ, Medics First, CDS Office Technologies, Hy-Vee, Health Alliance, U.S. Bank, Nelson's Catering, and this radio station.
Order your sub from the new Head West in-store kiosks, and you get a free brownie. Free brownie.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. Alexa, play WMAY. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny and breezy today, a bit cooler. High near 83, low around 63 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 63. Wednesday, chance of morning showers with a high near 88. Thursday, chance of morning showers with a high near 95. And Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 93 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Not your basic grand opening. Think of it as a grand reopening of the previous grand reopening. Well, it's a long story. But the remodeling project at Hendrick's Home Furnishings is finished. And inside that newly remodeled area, Sunset West Outdoor Furniture. I know, Sunset West Outdoor Furniture inside the store. Yeah, it's another long story. Stop by for details and visit for the celebration from July 1st through the 15th at the place where you can always talk to the owner. Hendrick's on Route 4 in Verdon and online at hendricks.tv.
Join us for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS at Panther Creek Country Club, June 29th through July 2nd. Watch the future stars of the PGA Tour compete for the winner's share of the $1 million purse. Saturday, July 1st is Family Fun Day, presented by SIU School of Medicine. Don't miss the great activity area just for kids. Tickets free, parking free, shuttles free. There's no excuse to miss out on the only professional golf in downstate Illinois. Request your tickets at memorialhealthchampionship.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The First Amendment grants everyone the right to assemble with others, to redress grievances, and to protest, and to even have a pride parade, to march through streets and hold signs and banners. But does that right allow for individuals to essentially go out in full frontal nudity in front of children? And that seems to have been what happened in one instance across the country, if not others. Good morning. I'd like to get your thoughts about this at 217-629-7970. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. And Governor J.B. Pritzker was out over the weekend at a pride parade in Chicago, and it rained, but it was obviously well attended. And he shared on Twitter, "I've been marching for LGBTQ plus rights since Pride was thought of as a protest, and I'm proud to keep marching as a celebration of hope and recommitment to the fight for equality today." And he shared a picture of him from decades ago, it looks like, fighting for rights for Illinois. And then he shared a picture from just over the weekend where he's standing in front of a banner that says "Protect Trans Kids." So obviously a big attended parade in Chicago dealing with issues of LGBTQ plus rights, and something that's, of course, the First Amendment affords everybody the opportunity to assemble with others and to protest and to share their thoughts. But again, the question, where does the line get drawn? Because elsewhere throughout the country at pride parades, you saw some men naked, completely naked, on bicycles, riding around. I believe the video was out of California, and I'm not going to air it here, of course, because, well, it's a sensitive nature. But the video showed these older men completely naked, full frontal, on bicycles, waving to a crowd of people, which included children in the crowd. But that's not the only thing that's getting people riled up. In New York City, you had marchers chanting, "We're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children." So just hear this protest that was happening in New York City over the weekend. So obviously, it's going to get some people riled up because you hear a lot of pushback of people saying they don't want this in front of their children, and those arguing for LGBTQ plus rights saying that they don't want they're not coming for your children, but obviously some indicating in that chant that they are. And this deals with everything from the types of reading material that's in public school libraries to the curriculum that's being taught in some public schools, and obviously a lot of consternation, a lot of debate, a lot of pushback on all of this. But where's the line drawn, right? Everybody has the right to protest. And you've seen the issue raised of even those who protest abortion and being called distasteful when they have printed on large, sheets what looks like an aborted fetus, and how that is very traumatic for people to see. But on the other side as well, when it comes to the LGBTQ plus movement, where's the line drawn? It's not just what happened with the naked bikers riding through the streets, exposing themselves to children. You also had simulated sex acts being conducted on same-sex individuals riding through a parade. And again, I think it comes down to the issue of nobody wants to be told what they can and cannot do in the privacy of their own home. Right? I don't want you coming into my house telling me and my wife how we should conduct ourselves behind closed doors. It's none of your business. And it's none of your business as to, the gay couple down the street and how they conduct themselves behind closed doors in the privacy of their own bedroom. It's none of your business. The small L libertarian will say, they want gay and lesbian couples to protect pot fields with AR-15s, right? So that's an interesting kind of thought exercise to say, listen, the libertarian mindset is you do what you want in the comfort of your own home. But when you're out in public, obviously you have the right to associate with others and to have the redress of your grievances. But is that line drawn where it comes to exposing yourself to children who could be out in attendance at that parade? And it also goes to the question of, you hear all the pushback against, drag time story hour, where I've seen instances, and we could pull up all kinds of videos of men in drag wearing next to nothing, showing off intimate parts of their body in front of children. And I think that, again, it's not about what you do in the privacy of your own home or how you want to live your life. If you want to be transgender and be of the opposite gender that you were born, that's entirely up to you as an adult to make that decision. I think that the line is when it comes to involving children in this, and that seems to be where a lot of people are pushing back. Let's get to some of your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Greg. First of all, for the bikers, if you get off the bike the wrong way, it could be a little painful, if you know what I mean. But
those seats don't. Listen, Megan and I were on bikes for a good chunk of the day on Saturday, and my rear end is still feeling it.
Yeah, and just think about. Well, let's not go there. Basically, this kind of flamboyant kind of stuff, I think, frankly, hurts their cause because. I mean, if you're wanting equal rights and stuff, well, that's one thing. And like you said, you do what you do behind closed doors. Why do they have to keep shoving it in our face? We don't. My wife and I don't shove what we do in their face. You and your wife don't. Why do they have to do it that way?
Well, and I think there's some motivations to shock and awe people when it comes to these types of demonstrations. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but some might agree that what you said it seems to hurt their arguments. Good morning. You're on 92.7 WMAY.
Morning, Greg.
Hey.
And I can't agree with you more that I want the gay couple down the street to protect their weed field with AR-15s. I mean, that's just how it is now. But if you take away the parade, you take away all the excitement that was going on whenever those two guys were riding bikes naked, now what do you have? Indecent exposure, and they're getting arrested. That's where I'm looking at it from. Because if you can't, the parade, yes, you're supposed to dance around and have fun, but you have to keep it civil, and that's just not civil.
Yeah. Or, wearing next to nothing, some kind of, dominatrix outfit and simulated sex acts with others during a parade on a float. I mean, these things,
and what,
you're not winning over the other side here with that.
No, the crowd is not getting, convinced that you're here to help. If you're not here to help your community, then you need to go home, to be quite honest. I mean, it's one thing to, let's say, dress in a pantsuit. I mean, if you're going to be transgender, dressing like Hillary Clinton or something like that, and coming to read books, that's one thing. It's another thing to dress like you're going to the VU and dance. I mean, that's completely different. I mean, common decency is still here, and it's still a factor. I mean, and I don't know if you've seen the clip or not, where one pastor went to a school board meeting and was reading one of the books that is very questionable that they're allowing in schools and in public libraries. He read it aloud in a school board meeting, and the school board members were uncomfortable.
Yeah, they shut him down, right, because he was reading from a book that is being put into public school libraries, and when he went to go read material from that book, he was shut down by the school board. It's pretty telling. 217-629-7970. Good morning, you're on WMAY.
Good morning. First off, Greg, I want to say I have gay friends who are not activists, okay? But some of the LGBTQ activists, what they've done, they've taken it out of the closet into the streets, into the school, and also into our laws, into the discrimination laws. There's no good definition of it, first off. And the other thing is, if someone did what they've done in some of these schools, like which I saw a picture of one of them straddling a child or showing their genitalia or whatever, if they did that in the privacy of their home, they would be arrested as a pedophile. So what's happened is they've come out and now they want everybody to celebrate it. They want everybody to use their pronouns. I even had a girl once. She wanted me to use her preferred pronouns. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I will call you by your name, but if you're male or female, that's where I'm going with it. So it's just something that's happened in our society that's incrementally coming into the public square. And parents need to stand up against this because I believe they're indoctrinating the children.
Listen, I think that nobody should have to live their life in a closet. That's nowhere the right thing for anybody to do. People do need to live their lives as they want to live their lives. But it crosses the line, as we're hearing from the callers, to take that, what some see as a fetish, and having it out on the street openly. And I know there's difference in culture from the United States to the culture over in Europe. I mean, Europe's got nude beaches, and you go to the red light district in Amsterdam, and it's a totally different story. But when it comes to decency, I think the majority of people are going to see some of these pride parade activities as a step way too far, especially if children are going to be in attendance at these parades. I'll share with you a video of another instance that happened over the weekend, really fascinating, and it deals with the Patriot Front? Is that what that group is? A bunch of racists, and they were approached by MAGA supporters and ultimately demasked. Rather fascinating video that's circulating, so we'll touch on that coming up next and get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. It's 8:22. Got to take a break. Let's look at that forecast where today it's going to be pretty warm, 82 the high, with the low down to around 62. Sunny skies all throughout. Sunny on Tuesday, the high up to 86. Wednesday, we got a chance of showers. Not going to really cool things down much, a high of 87. Thursday, mostly sunny, the high of 95. And a possibility of some showers Friday with a high of 92. Right now, 67 degrees at 8:23 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one?
Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59,995 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
All right, head over to WMAY.com/poll and take today's daily poll, which asks you about a local issue. What do you think of the selection of out-of-state muralists for the downtown Springfield Transportation Hub? They should have chosen local artists for the project, or such projects should go to the best design regardless of where it came from. And about 66% of you say that such projects should go to the best design regardless of where it came from. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
So it wasn't just naked bikers during a pride parade that made some waves on the internet. There's another clash that happened, and it's a interesting display of a group of Donald Trump supporters going up against, what is this group called? The Patriot Guard or something? The group that wears, black masks and baseball caps, and they carry flags upside down, but they're like racist. They're like neo-Nazis, essentially. A lot of people speculate they're feds, that they're undercover federal agents. And they met, I guess, a group of people that weren't too happy about them. And I'm not going to air the audio of this video because, well, there's a lot of swearing. But the video shows this Patriot Guard group wearing black masks, black gloves, black tops, and khaki bottoms, getting shoved around by various individuals carrying American flags with cut off T-shirts, and they're shoving and telling these Patriot Guard groups that they're racist. They need to get out, move on, get out of the way. They're using their flags to kind of push them back, and then all of a sudden, some fists start flying, and the fists are flying at a good clip. And as you watch this video, you see them continue to go back, keep getting pushed back, and it's about even, as far as the numbers versus the others. And the Patriot Guard group, I think is the Patriot Front. I can't remember their name. Who cares? They're racist. And then you get some pushing, and then all of a sudden, the fists start flying, and it turns into a fracas of all kinds of different people falling over. And what's really telling about this, there's a punch. What's really telling about this is they start stripping the masks off these guys. They start saying, demask them. What's interesting, though, is one of the guys who's really throwing some sluggers is wearing a mask as well. But they start ripping the masks off these guys. And this is the first time I've seen at least a confrontation like this where people are yanking the masks off of these individuals, demasking them, unmasking them. Then you see faces for the first time. And some people even doing some online sleuthing and finding who these individuals may be. And stripping their masks off exposes their face. There's another mask strip, and the guy's trying to cover his face back up. But yeah, video frames are able to be frozen, and then you can get a good picture of the individual, and the group quickly disbands and walks away. But that video made the rounds online, and I think that there was a lot of people cheering that, listen, violence is horrible regardless. But the people who were sharing that video saying it's about time that these racists were demasked. It's time to pull the mask off of others, including Antifa, which I know people say, that's not a real thing. Okay. Then why do they show up in organized protests all wearing black masks and doing some provocateur actions? Again, some happenings in protests over the weekend, something I think that we're going to see a lot more of in the days and weeks ahead. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop with Springfield's 92.7 WMAY, and coming back, I want to hear from you. Who do you think would win in a cage match? Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk? So stay tuned. We'll get to that next here on WMAY. It's 8:33. Let's check headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Supreme Court will soon deliver a decision involving a Christian graphic artist from Colorado who wants to begin designing wedding websites but objects to making wedding websites for same-sex couples. Lori Smith says state law requiring businesses open to the public to serve everyone violates her free speech rights. Opponents argue that if she wins, businesses will be allowed to refuse service to Black, Jewish, or Muslim customers, interracial or interfaith couples, or immigrants. 3 Illinois schools are among a new ranking of the best colleges in the United States. Money Magazine designated 50 five-star schools out of more than 700 that were evaluated. Included in that top group were the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago. In addition, the magazine ranked the top public colleges in the nation, a list that also included UIUC, along with the University of Illinois Chicago and Illinois State University. An Indianapolis woman has pleaded guilty to charges related to the 2021 death of an Illinois police officer. 29-year-old Ashante Carruthers admitted purchasing a gun and transferring possession of it to Darian Lafayette, who could not legally possess it because he was a convicted felon. Lafayette used the gun in a shootout with police in which both he and Officer Christopher Oberheim were killed. Carruthers also pleaded guilty to attempting to cover up her actions by falsely reporting to police that the gun she bought had been stolen. An historic Decatur mansion has been sold at auction for a second time. The 7,700-square-foot Powers Mansion was sold once earlier this month, but the buyer was unable to complete the transaction. A second online auction last week resulted in a purchase price of around $150,000, or about half the price of the first auction. The buyer's name has not yet been revealed. The winning bidder must still get bank approval before taking possession of the 113-year-old home, which was sold as is, with no prior opportunity to inspect the premises. The Springfield City Council will take initial action this week on the nomination of a former alderwoman to serve on a city commission amid questions about her eligibility. Mayor Misty Buscher nominated Kristen DeCenso to chair the Liquor Control Commission less than 2 months after DeCenso left office. Alderman Roy Williams, Jr. says city ordinance requires a 3-year waiting period after an official leaves office before they can be named to a board or commission. But DeCenso says city attorneys have determined that language only applies to the police and fire commissions. She plans to attend Tuesday's meeting when that preliminary vote is set to take place. If the nomination advances, the final vote would come in early July. Brace yourself for a bigger tax bite starting July 1st. The state's 1% sales tax on groceries, which was suspended last year to provide some relief from inflation, will be reinstated on Saturday. That's also the date for the next scheduled increase in the state motor fuel tax. The annual increase is tied to the rate of inflation, so this year it will increase gas prices by approximately 3 cents a gallon. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Checking accounts. They're a lot like flavors of sparkling water. It's really hard to tell them apart. But at BOS, our Checking Plus account is packed with bold banking features like built-in identity theft protection, shopping rewards, and even protection for your smartphone. Now that's refreshing. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today. Visit bankwithbos.com. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Stop by a branch today for full details and terms.
Local, local, local. For 27 years, Just Beds has been your local mattress store for 27 years, featuring locally made Bemco mattresses like Arctic Breeze and Max Life. That's a lot of local helping local. And all this month at Just Beds, you will save big on Bemco. Twin mattresses for $149, queen mattresses just $229. As always, free delivery, setup, and haul away locally. Thank you for supporting Just Beds for 27 years. Keep buying local, friends. See the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale and Springfield. Just Beds.
I'm Greg Bishop, and every week I break down the big issues from the Springfield City Council meeting with the Council Roundup. From debates about zoning to city growth and everything else city officials have to say, we serve it up with the Council Roundup, sponsored by Head West Substop. When you want a great sub, you've got to Head West. Wednesday mornings at 7 on Springfield's Morning News with 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Catch past episodes on demand at WMAY.com.
Join us for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS at Panther Creek Country Club, June 29th through July 2nd. Watch the future stars of the PGA Tour compete for the winner's share of the $1 million purse. Saturday, July 1st is Family Fun Day, presented by SIU School of Medicine. Don't miss the great activity area just for kids. Tickets free, parking free, shuttles free. There's no excuse to miss out on the only professional golf in downstate Illinois. Request your tickets at memorialhealthchampionship.com.
Everywhere you are with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny and breezy today, a bit cooler. High near 83, low around 63 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 63. Wednesday, chance of morning showers with a high near 88. Thursday, chance of morning showers with a high near 95. And Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 93 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them. Our delivery people are better at installing them. And our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local. Fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
Hi, this is Rob from Cadenza Precious Metals. Did you know that we purchase collections and estates? Our overhead is very low, which allows me to make really strong offers for your loved ones' treasures. We buy coins, watches, many collectibles, diamonds, and unwanted jewelry. We can come to you or I'll meet you in my private office. No storefront or employees allows me to pay you more. Call me and we'll chat about your particular situation. Call Rob at 217-415-5581. You will be pleasantly surprised.
You finally take the perfect selfie, only to realize it's ruined by a bunch of strangers photobombing in the background. Before you delete it, listen up. There's a Google tool that'll clean that picture up in no time at all. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite, the #1 cloud financial system. Get no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Kim. At one point, it would have taken expert Photoshopper to remove those bystanders, but not anymore. Google Photos Magic Eraser can remove them. You just open up your Google Photos app, pick the photo, then tap on the Edit button and select Magic Eraser. Then let the app do its magic. It will automatically try to identify the unwanted objects or people. If the app gets it right, just tap on the Erase button to automatically remove them. If it doesn't get it right, take matters into your own hands. Draw over the objects with your finger to erase them, tap Done, and then just save the edited image. Again, it's called Magic Eraser. NASA, the FBI, and top tech execs get my daily tech newsletter, and you should too, at getkim.com. If you're a business owner looking to cut costs this year, stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Right now, my sponsor, NetSuite by Oracle, has an unprecedented offer on the world's #1 cloud ERP. Sign up today and get no payments and no interest for 6 months on a full implementation of NetSuite. You can stop letting QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down. With NetSuite, you can manage and automate all of your business processes in one place. Identify rising costs and easily see where to save money. 93% of customers improve their visibility and control when they upgrade it. So join them. If you've been sizing NetSuite up to make the switch, then you know this deal is unprecedented. No interest, no payments. Take advantage of the special financing offer right now at netsuite.com/Kim. netsuite.com/Kim to get the visibility and control you need to weather any storm at netsuite.com/Kim.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Let's go.
Man, Robert Kennedy Jr.'s ripped. There's been several videos posted online this weekend. Jeez, seriously.
That's a fit boy.
He's ripped.
Let's go.
Dude is jacked. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Twitter sharing a video saying, getting in shape for my debates with President Biden. And dude is I bet he's rocking a 8% body fat mass index.
Let's go.
Wow. Now, are the debates going to happen with RFK Jr. and President Biden? Democrats, it's up to you guys, I guess, if you want to see that debate or not. But, that's inspirational.
That's a fit boy.
That makes me want to actually go and get back into the gym, like, right after I get off the air here. Because how old is Robert Kennedy Jr.? What is he, in his 60s or something? Dude is jacked. Holy cow. So, yeah, several videos being shared of Robert Kennedy Jr. working outside in jeans with his shirt off. And, that's a sign of impeccable health when you get down to it. So, fascinating to see that. But listen, the matchup between Joe Biden and RFK for the Democratic primary, that's one thing. But what about social media companies? Because apparently now you have Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk agreeing to some kind of cage match. We'll hear what the lead of the UFC had to say about this coming up. But, of course, your phone calls. And I want to hear from you. Who do you think would win in a cage match between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, two social media titans in the ring? But first, a call. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Bishop.
Hey.
I don't think Kennedy's going to get the opportunity to debate Biden for obvious reasons from the Democratic Party standpoint. But what if he actually shared the stage with Donald Trump, like at a rally, and just had a back and forth, like of real issues? Because that's the only way he's going to get on stage with anybody of any importance in this whole election cycle.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be sanctioned by any particular political party. I don't think Republicans would want to go along with that, and I don't think Democrats would want to go along with that. Really, the impetus is on the Democrats to allow for a true debate. Listen, Kennedy right now has got 20+% of those being polled. So, it's something I think that if they don't allow for a debate, they're going to have to answer to that. Why? Why won't they allow for a debate?
Yeah. But that's my point. I mean, the Democratic Party doesn't need to sanction it. The Republican Party doesn't need to sanction it. The media companies just need to cover it. And if you put Trump and actually Biden's biggest, I guess, threat from the Democratic standpoint of Kennedy on stage with each other just to talk and discuss things, it doesn't matter if it's a CNN event, a Fox event. Just put it in a cornfield on a stage, and I'm sure people will cover it.
Yeah, it'll get covered, but again, I don't think that would do nearly what a series of debates, as Republicans are expected to be doing. Why not have the debate between RFK Jr., a Democrat, and Joe Biden, the Democratic incumbent? If they don't have that debate, I think a lot of those independents out there are going to be very frustrated and seeming to not being given the opportunity to actually hear from those who are vying for the party's nomination. But back to the cage match possibility between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Dana White, the front guy there for the UFC, he says this is very much something that's real and apparently is going to happen. When? Who knows?
I was talking to both Elon and Mark last night. Both guys are absolutely dead serious about this. They both want to do it. Mark Zuckerberg hit me up first and said, "Is he serious?" And I said, "I don't know. Let me ask him." I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, I'm dead serious. This would be the biggest fight ever in the history of the world. Bigger than anything that's ever been done. It would break all pay-per-view records. These guys would raise, hundreds of millions of dollars for charity. And, you don't have to be a fight fan to be interested in this fight. Everybody would want to see it."
Yeah, I think everybody would want to see that. So who would win? Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. And I've seen memes made of Tom from MySpace coming in from the top ropes as Mark Zuckerberg has Elon Musk in a chokehold or so. It's just ridiculous, absolutely over the top. I've heard people suggest they should do a pro wrestling theme so it could be all fake and scripted and whatnot. But I've also heard people say that this would not be good for either stocks of Meta or Tesla, for instance. Because if you have some brain injuries, that's not going to be good. But others saying here, Zuckerberg's trained, so he'll win, unfortunately. Don't forget he's a lizard person. George Soros, fun, right, Greg? Yep, rip. Okay, everybody's talking about RFK Jr. being absolutely ripped. Good morning, you're on WMAY.
I would like to see the nominee for the whoever the Republican is ask Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to run as vice president. I don't
think there's anything that would prohibit that. There's been speculation and some, in the political circles looking for like a unity ticket that would have a conservative and a liberal on the same ticket, or people from a libertarian perspective on with people from a Green Party perspective. Those ideas have been floated before, but I just don't know if the current establishment political class would allow for that.
Well, I don't think he's really even a liberal. I think he's an old school Democrat, which was what the Democrat Party needs.
And RFK Jr. actually spoke at Pork Fest, which is a libertarian-themed gathering in New Hampshire. And he spoke there. Vivek Ramaswamy spoke there. And I think that that's a recognition that you've got independents who are very much active voters, and they're courting these voters. So we'll see how that plays out. One last call here. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Dan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, so to answer your question, Zuckerberg would win. He's a black belt martial artist, and he recently won a jiu-jitsu tournament, and Elon Musk looks like he's, 60 years old.
It looks like Elon Musk enjoys some Twinkies from time to time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you. Great show.
Appreciate it. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. I'll share with you some of the activities that Megan and I did over the weekend. So that'll wrap things up for our Monday. Right now, though, it's 8:51. And let's take a look at that forecast where it's a hot one this week with a high of 82 today, the high of 85 Tuesday, and even warmer Wednesday with sunshine all throughout, but a chance of rain Wednesday into Thursday. Mostly sunny with a high of 95. Friday, 40% chance of showers. The high of 92. Right now, 8:52 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Hurry into the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Shop a huge selection of 2018 and newer vehicles with 3.9% financing for 72 months. Backed with that Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Offer expires Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive. You always do better at Landmark. Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power & Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Act fast to get the best interest rates during the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus, get the most for your trade. Hurry in. These rates expire Monday. The Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive. You always do better at Landmark. Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power & Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
Hendricks Home Furnishings grand reopening kicks off with an open house Saturday, July 1st. I'm Jennifer Hendricks. Come celebrate with giveaways and complimentary lunch. Register to win a Lazy Boy sofa, 2 separate Lazy Boy recliners, gift certificates, and cash prizes. See factory authorized discounts from brands like Craftmaster, Southern Motion, Canadell, and more to update your home. Come by July 1st for food giveaways and big time savings. Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4, Verdon.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it.
Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store. If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Over the weekend, my wife Megan and I, we recreated the snot out of this place. We took bikes out on the interurban trail, which we started in Chatham, rode our bikes all the way to the Shields location there off of I-72, and then rode back. It's a good, 16-mile ride, and it only took us like an hour and a half or so. But my gosh, did I get sunburnt. I did not wear sunscreen mistakenly. That was a big mistake. But then we went out to dinner. Joseph's is a local fine dining place, just absolutely wonderful food. Saw a source I use for news from time to time. He texted me, he said, behind you, and I look around, oh, hey, Don. So it was nice to see him. But then we went to go see Asteroid City, Wes Anderson's new film. I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. He does great work, really quirky stuff. He's pedantic. All right, so he seems to stick to a formula. Great story, well edited, well filmed, beautiful colors, huge cast. But the children in the movie had more emotion to their acting than the adult actors. And I think that's just a kind of staple with Wes Anderson films. They don't really have much emotion. They're just they say the lines in a very dry fashion, and it was all right. It had some alien themes to it and whatnot. But then yesterday, we went and kayaked on the Lick Creek. If you're not familiar with Lick Creek, we've been using Sugar Creek as our kayak spot. But Lick Creek, Wow. We did not realize how easy it was to get to. Right there off of Woodside, there's a kayak drop spot. Not as good of a kayak drop spot as there is off of Sugar Creek in Chatham, but wonderful. I'm so happy we got these kayaks because just hearing the birds and the whoosh of the water and going through and seeing all of the wildlife, the herons, the turtles, the fish jumping out of the water, all of the just relaxing sounds. You get to just sit there on your kayak and take it all in. It's wonderful. So really enjoyed doing that with Megan. It gives us the opportunity to just unplug and really take in nature. So happy I got those kayaks, by the way. Just incredible. We've been able to just load them up on the truck and get to kayaking in all kinds of places, and just again relaxing on a river, on a creek, and there's several awesome creeks around the area. If you know of any other creeks, please email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. bishoponair@gmail.com, and you can fill me in on where we can drop our kayaks in to take in some more of the wonderful nature that Central Illinois has to offer. All right, that's all I got for you today. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. It is now 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville.